Alright folks, welcome back. I wanted to continue this discussion of seeded Balatro play, in particular seed optimization. Whatever your favorite seed is, how do you optimize your run for whatever your personal goals may be. In my last video, I talked about how to manipulate the card shuffler by rearranging the cards in your hand before you play and discard them. And then, if we're able to manipulate the card shuffler, we can get it to deal us the cards that we want in the order that we want. And then use that to sort of optimize the hands that we play throughout the run. In this video, what I want to talk about is how to manipulate the shop queue in order to give us what we want. And so maybe what we'll start off with is we'll take this overstock voucher here so we can see we've got 3 cards offered to us at a time, and we'll just sort of naively go through the shop with some rerolls and just see what happens. So maybe the thing that I'm interested in doing is I want to put together an 8-ball run. And so if I'm generating a lot of tarot cards, maybe what I want to do is I want to pick up this egg to go with the Temperance tarot card. We'll do a reroll here. We've got a holographic dusk, even Steven, half joker, reroll again. Here's that 8-ball that I was talking about, so we'll go ahead and pick up that 8-ball. Notice here the half joker, it was offered to us, and then after re-rolling, it's offered to us again. That happens all the time. You'll see a joker, and then after a re-roll or two, you might see the same joker again. So just make note of that. Next here, maybe if I want to play hands that have 8s, it's useful to have extra cards in hand. So we've got here Zany, Scary Face. I'll go ahead and pick up this Juggler for the build that I want to go for. And then finally, with one more reroll, here we've got the Burglar. And so, if I want to do 8-ball stuff, okay, Burglar gives me extra hands, I can play extra pairs, I can do more 8-ball stuff. So that's the build. Notice here it used up all of our money here to do these rerolls and buy these 4 jokers. Alright, we've got this seed. Let's go through this one more time with a slight modification. Alright, it's going to take me a second to get set up here, but I promise you it will make sense once I start to actually explain what we're doing. Okay, so you didn't see it, when I set up the beginning of the video, but we are on the same seed, we're in the same position, the same shop. Here, if I take this overstock voucher, you see the same egg, Fibonacci, and then ride the bus. And so let's take the egg again, and we'll do a reroll. And now the only difference, the only new thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to buy this half joker. Before we didn't want the half joker, we didn't need it, so we just passed on it. This time I'm going to pick it up. And then let's see what happens when we re-roll here. Now we've got the same 8-ball that we had before. Before we were offered, it was 8-ball, this Sun tarot card, and then we had the half joker offered to us a second time. Now, instead of getting a half joker, we have this Zany joker. And so if you remember, the Zany joker, that was the next joker that was in the next shop. If we re-rolled here, it used to be Zany, Scary Face, Juggler, but now it's Scary Face, Juggler, and aha, we've got this Burglar. And so if I wanted to buy these, I could, okay, here's my Juggler, here's my Burglar. I have all of the jokers that I wanted these for, plus an extra one, plus an extra $4 here. So what happened? The way that the shop works, at least as far as the jokers are concerned, you should think of it like a conveyor belt. And so every time you open up the shop, it'll say, okay, give me the next 2 in line, or give me the next Joker 1 in line, or give me the next 3 in line if we have the overstock, or whatever it is. And it'll just keep going down that conveyor belt of all the different Jokers that are in line. You also know that the game prevents you from having repeats. There are some rare glitches that allow you to have repeated Jokers, but for the most part, you can't have any repeats. And so the way that's programmed in is when you go into the shop and you re-roll and you load in, okay, well, give me the next few Jokers. Any Joker that's in your hand will be skipped. And so what we did here was we had the egg and we got the half Joker. And then so when we went to the next shop, instead of it being 8-ball and then half Joker and then Zany, the half Joker gets skipped and it's just 8-ball and then Zany. And everything else, the whole line moves forward 1 space. We just kick that guy out of line and then everybody step forward. And so the result of that is, instead of this burglar being further back in line, further back in the next shop reroll, it appears here, 1 space forward, which means I require 1 less reroll in order to buy it. And so, here's the bottom line. Here's the utility. Whatever run you're trying to do, there's some Jokers that you want to try to get for your build. And you want to get your Jokers sooner rather than later. Like my 8-ball, I would rather have it in round 3 as opposed to round 4 or round 5 or, whatever, as soon as possible. Not just so that, if I get the 8-ball earlier, I can do more 8-ball stuff, but also, sometimes you really have to dig for the Jokers that you want, and digging requires rerolls, costs money, and so here we did less rerolls, we were able to save more money. And so that's the point. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're going to try to do, is shop manipulation. All right, give me a second here to load up this next seed for demonstration purposes. All right, queue up a new one. And again, it's going to take me some time to set this up. We've got some immolate skips here so we can get our money set up so that I have, some money to work with to demonstrate for you. What is it? There we go, that's it. Sorry, trying to remember how to do this one. Okay. Okay, so similar situation as before. We got about $50 here. We're gonna just do some rerolls, just experiment, explore, see what the shop offers us. Okay, first we've got Misprint and Scholar. Okay, reroll 1 time, we get a tarot card, and then a second Scholar. Okay, so let's make note of that. Scholar is repeated. If we reroll again, we've got no Joker showing up, but we do have this Hermit. I'll take it so that I have the extra money. And then we get here, it's a stencil, and it's also a foil stencil, followed by here's Misprint. So we had the Misprint earlier. It took us a while, but we did, here's another Misprint. We've got a Golden Joker, we've got Superposition, Juggler, Supernova, second Golden Joker showing up. So we've got several Jokers being repeated here. We've got Egg and Constellation. And so, after doing all these rerolls, I've got $4 left. If I wanted the egg, I could buy the egg, but now I don't have any money to buy the Constellation. Maybe that's something that I want. I want, this Constellation has this scaling multiplier. I want to get it early in the run. Well, I wasn't able to afford it. And so maybe let's go and try to see if we can use the repeating jokers and using these skips in this conveyor belt of the joker shop to help us get this constellation earlier. Because if I can get it earlier, then I don't have to spend $12 on a reroll, which is huge. So let's try it again. I apologize, this will be somewhat repetitive as we're sort of going through all of the stuff the same but different. I think it's very useful to highlight how these subtle differences between purchasing one joker or another. Okay, so we're back where we were before. We said we got this misprint and the scholar, and I remember that if I reroll, the next joker offered is going to be another scholar. So let's go ahead and pick up, let's just pick up the scholar. And then if I reroll, it won't be a scholar, it'll be whatever's next. So what was next? After the scholar was that foil stencil. So now let's reroll. I get the stencil, but it's not foil. Okay, so that's a little bit interesting. Okay, I do get the stencil. What was after stencil? After stencil was there was a misprint and golden joker at the same time. Well, there's no joker here, but there is a joker here. Aha, there we go. So what happened was, so we still have the same order of the jokers. It's still misprint, scholar, scholar, stencil, misprint, golden, superposition, and then so on. The difference is this foil used to be on a stencil, now it's on this misprint here. The only difference that we did was picking up this scholar. And so how this works is the foil edition is in the same shop position every time. The thing that changed was the jokers are offered in a slightly different order. We cut out the scholar, we kicked him out of line, and then everybody else moves up in line. So the stencil moves up out of this foil position, the misprint moves up into this foil position. And then, we can go through and see we've still got the golden superposition. So before it was golden here on the right, misprint on the left. Now golden has moved up, superposition has moved up. These are now together. We've got the juggler, supernova, golden offered a second time. And okay, so this is different. Before we had, this was the golden joker. And then in the next shop, we got the egg and the constellation. So one change is the egg moves up. Okay, so I'm able to buy the egg here if I wanted to without having to spend $12 on the reroll. But because I bought this scholar, I spent money, I have less money, I can't afford this reroll. So I can't even see the constellation joker. So, the question is, well, if I have to spend money to buy these jokers, to force these skips in the shop queue, then how worth it is it? Because that's compare that to, I could just spend the money instead of buying the joker. I could just spend the money on the reroll instead. And so let's try this again, but with potentially more skips here. Instead of just the scholar, let's try picking up, we saw the golden joker was repeated, the misprint was repeated. Let's focus on those. Oops. Supposed to do the immolate skip. Okay, show me those diamonds, for the 100th time. There we go. Okay, so we want to pick up the Scholar because we got the Scholar. If I have it, then the repeat will be skipped, and there's a misprint also repeated, so I'm going to pick that up. So we've got, okay, skip Scholar, give me Stencil instead. And if I reroll again, it used to be misprint. Now skip misprint, give me Golden instead. Golden in that fourth position that's always going to be that foil there. Now, I could, I know that this Golden Joker is coming up later on, so I could pick up this Golden Joker here and then cause that skip later on in the line. Here's something that's slightly weird about this. The way I set this up here, we have all of our Joker slots empty, but as you're sort of going and playing the game, partway through the run, you have Jokers that are filling up your Joker slots. You have Jokers that you care about. And so you saw in the first example seed that I used, we had Egg and 8-Ball and Juggler and Burglar. And so if I want to be doing these, shop Joker skips, then I don't have infinite capacity to just buy all the Jokers that are repeated. So you have to be a little bit selective. You have to buy some Jokers and then hold on to them until the skip has happened, and then now it's safe to sell it. So for example, the Scholar was the first skip that happened. Now I know there isn't another Scholar that happens for a while, so I don't need to be holding on to it anymore. I can just sell it. Same thing with this misprint here. We had the repeated misprint. It was skipped. It used to be here, but now it's a Golden Joker instead. And so now I don't need this misprint either. And let's go ahead and pick up this Golden Joker. Okay, next we've got Superposition Juggler is fine. Supernova. There used to be the Golden Joker after the Supernova, but since we're holding on to the Supernova, or since we're holding on to the Golden Joker, we've got its Egg and its Constellation. So the first time that we ran through this, we were able to buy the Egg, but not the Constellation. We had $0 left over. Now, with a couple of skips in the queue, I have enough money to buy Egg and Constellation, and an extra, is it $8? Is it $10? I think it's, one of those, extra $10 to buy this foil Golden Joker. And so that's the power of this shop queue manipulation. You can get whatever Joker you're going for. You can get it earlier. You can get it by spending less money overall, by buying Jokers even though you don't need them technically. Also, using these shop skips by moving where the Jokers are in line, you can also move around where the additions land. Maybe in the shop there's a polychrome Joker. You can move the Jokers around so that the polychrome lands on the Joker that you actually care about. Same with negative Joker in shop. Get the correct negative that you want. Within some limitations. Here in about 6 or 7 shop rerolls, we were only able to get 2 or 3 shop skips with the Jokers, and that's kind of typical, where you get kind of maybe 2 to 3 for every 6 to 8 shop rerolls or something like that. And so if this foil is on whatever position, I'm only able to maybe get 3 or 4 skips, so I'm only able to get whatever the next 3 or 4 Jokers are. So I can't put it on whatever I want, but I do have some power over where the foil lands. Alright, now let's talk about tarot cards. So as we're going through the shop here, Jokers and tarot cards and planet cards are all mixed in together. Also with tarot cards, something that's a little bit different is you can also get them from Arcana Packs, and the same thing with planet cards, you can get them from Celestial Packs. And so let's look at that interaction, the interaction between the shop, queue, and then also the booster packs. To do this, I've got a third seed set up here, and then this will be the last one. What do I want to do here? I want to do, I think it's supposed to be spades. Wait, what am I missing? I need, what'd I do? Oh, I'm supposed to play these spades here. Dang it. I apologize for the delayed game. This is mostly not scripted, so you get what you get. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay. All right, here's the important stuff. Okay, we're in the shop, and I want to do some re-rolls here, so, you know, might as well. Is this worth it? Whatever, doesn't matter. So let's see what happens. If I re-roll here, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. If I re-roll again, I get the Chariot. If I re-roll again, there's the Fool. After that, we've got Wheel, another Wheel, and then Hierophant after we run out of money there. Okay, so remember that. We've got Wheel, Chariot, Fool, Wheel, Wheel, Hierophant. Okay. You know, a lot of people, they hate on the Wheel of Fortune. You know, oh, it's 1 in 4 chance. It never seems to give me anything. And then when it does, it gives me the lame thing. It gives me foil, or sometimes even holographic is not what I want. You know, I want to get the polychrome, but it never gives me polychrome, or it doesn't give me anything. And so maybe something that I'm interested in is, let's skip all the Wheel of Fortune. And so the way the shop queue works is it has sort of a list of Joker, Joker, Planet, Tarot, Joker, Tarot, Joker, Joker, Tarot, or something like that. And, you know, whatever is supposed to be there, it will take whatever is the next in line from that separate queue. And so all of the Jokers have a separate lineup, and then all of the tarot cards have a separate lineup, and the shop kind of weaves them together. And so, you know, here in this position, this will always be some Joker with some tarot card, but it may be a different Joker. If you're manipulating the Joker queue, it may be a different tarot card, is what we're going to try to do here. And so because we don't want the Wheel of Fortune, let's try to skip the Wheel of Fortune just like we do skipping Jokers. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna re-roll, we're gonna find, here's the first tarot card. I'm gonna buy it, but I'm not gonna use it right away. And instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it up here and proceed through my re-rolls. So here's the Chariot was second, the Fool was third, fourth was supposed to be a Wheel, okay, but it can't be a Wheel, so give me the next one. Well, it can't be, the Wheel is the next one, so you know, can't be that one either. Give me the next one. We get the Hierophant. And, you know, now if I re-roll one time, I can even see after the Hierophant, there's another one, there's a Moon. And so, you know, what this does is, you know, let's say I'm trying to do a flush build, or I'm trying to do a flush house build. And the thing that I actually want, I want the moon card. I want as many moon cards as I can get so that I can make as many clubs as I can get. So by buying and holding on to this Wheel of Fortune, I was able to skip a bunch of Wheel of Fortunes, and I was able to get this moon earlier. Just like with the Jokers, you're able to get it earlier. What that means also is, you know, as we go through the run, and we do this, you know, dozens and dozens of times throughout the run, not only am I getting all of the tarot cards that I want earlier, I'm getting them more often. And so, you know, every time there would be a wheel, skip all of those. It is slight, but it is effective. And so you can do the same kind of thing that you do with the Jokers of when I buy a tarot card, I can kind of swap them in and out. For example here, if I sell this Wheel of Fortune now, and let's go ahead and buy this Arcana Pack. So the way the Arcana Pack works is it works similar to the shop queue, except it has 4 slots. Okay, give me the next 4 tarot cards that are going to be in line. Except you're not allowed to have any repeats. And so here, by opening this, I get the Wheel of Fortune, and then whatever the next one is, if it would have been a Wheel of Fortune, it's something else instead. It's the next one instead. We get High Priestess, Emperor, Death. If I take this Emperor, it'll give me whatever the next ones are. So after the Death card, there's a Tower, and then it's followed by a Magician. And so you can see, you know, here are all the tarot cards that are available to us in order. All right, so now what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to do something with the tarot cards that you're not able to do with the Joker cards. And that's, you know, when you load up the shop, it only offers you 2 cards at a time. Maybe both of those are Jokers, maybe one of those is a Joker. Whereas these Arcana Packs, they load up multiple, you know, you could get 3 at a time from a regular Arcana Pack, you could get 4 at a time from a Jumbo Arcana Pack, or a Mega Arcana Pack gives you 5, whatever, you know how it works. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Wheel of Fortune, and I'm even going to go one step, maybe a couple steps forward here. So here's the Chariot, and then that's followed by the Fool. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up this Arcana Pack. And so you remember the next tarot card is supposed to be the Wheel of Fortune. Holding this Wheel of Fortune here and then opening the Arcana Pack is the same as holding this Wheel of Fortune and then re-rolling. And so when I open this, the next one, instead of it being a wheel, we skip the wheels. Hierophant is next. Moon is next. Okay, High Priestess is next. Then the Emperor. And, you know, if I want here, I can sell the wheel and I can use the Emperor. What's after Emperor? We had Death, and then there was Tower. And so the end result, well, okay, I've got those, and if I keep re-rolling here, you know, I'm able to, okay, there's the Magician, that was the one that was after the Tower, and then there's even another one after that, this Empress. So what's the difference here? You know, after doing our skip with the wheel, we were able to get one further into the queue of tarot cards. And the reason for that is the Jumbo Arcana Pack, it has 4 slots. And the shop queue looks like, you know, wheel, wheel, Hierophant, wheel, moon, wheel, priestess, moon, and then so on. And so in the Jumbo Pack, it skips all 4 of those wheels. And then also, when it gives us the moon, it also skips the next moon that would be in that Arcana Pack. So it would be moon, priestess, moon, it skips the second moon also. And so by timing the Arcana pack correctly, we're able to get extra skips. We're able to get this Empress card that we weren't able to see before. We're able to dig deeper. Now, here's another thing that you can think about is when you open up an Arcana pack, you're only able to pick one of those cards. And so if the Arcana pack has, for example, maybe there's a Hermit card and there's a Temperance card, and they're both in that pack together. They're like close together in line. Maybe it's there's Strength and then Hermit and then Temperance. Those are the three. What you can do is you can use some shop rerolls in order to get that one of those tarot cards outside of the pack in the normal shop queue, and then open the pack after. And so what that allows you to do is then you can get you can get both. Normally if you open the pack and it's Hermit or Temperance, you get to choose one, or by manipulating the shop, I get the Hermit and then I open the Arcana pack and then I get my Temperance that I want. Or another thing that you can do is time your Arcana pack to give you the skips when appropriate. And so like as I was going through this shop, we had the Chariot and we had the Fool, and I know those are not repeats, so I just skip past them. And then when it came time to, the next one was the Hierophant, okay, maybe that's the one that's going to give me the skip. And one way to get a skip is to buy the card and put it in your hand, but maybe you don't want to spend your money, you don't want to buy the card. So you just leave it in the shop and then open the pack. And so you can do something similar with, Celestial packs. I want to get Ceres planet cards, or I want to get Saturn planet cards. I don't want to get Mercury. So I can just roll through the shop. When I see a card that I don't want, then I open the Celestial pack. You can do this not just in your seeded playthroughs. You can also do this in your unseeded playthroughs with your random seeds. If you hold on to cards that you don't want, so for example, I don't want to see any Tower Tarot cards. Well, I'll just pick one up and I'll just hold it for the whole run. And then I will never see another Tower for the whole run. Or the same with, whatever planet card you might not want. All right, that's all that I plan to go through here, manipulating the shop queue, sort of, we've got tarot cards, we've got planet cards occupying separate queues, and then also messing around with jokers.